Hello everyone and welcome. So this video was a follow-up from the last that looked at Cataclysmic DPS with high impact reserves, where we'll now test Focus Fury and compare it to some Reed's Regret examples with Focus Fury 2 and also Fire in Line. Apologies for the delay uploading this, it's taken me a long time to gather all the footage from various individuals, of which I'd like to say a massive thank you to those names on screen now. The Chrome Hawk has a YouTube channel of his own, so I'll put a link to that in the description down below. So in this video there'll be a number for Cataclysmic with accelerated coils, liquid coils, enhanced battery, 4 times the charm, Focus Fury and high impact reserves. 2 of those high impact reserves examples are with a backup mag mod, the rest are with a boss spec mod. And for Reed's Regret, there are numbers with the same 3 battery or coil perks as Cataclysmic, but then also triple tap, Focus Fury and Fire in Line. Admittedly, not every single combination has been tested, but there are still 12 examples, so a lot has been covered. Everything has base reserves and timings were in a lunar faction well. So with so many examples, I'm just quickly going to cycle through the damage per round on screen, compare side by side the top 2 DPS for Cataclysmic and the top 2 DPS for Reed's Regret, and then summarise everything in a table. And of course, after that, the top 8 will be on the graph plus Sleeper Simulant. Quickly, an explanation of Focus Fury for anyone unsure. After dealing damage with the first half of a magazine, the perk will proc. For every example in this video, the magazine size is either 5 or 6, so it's always 3 rounds to proc this perk. While it is proc, it buffs damage by 20% for 10 seconds. However, if you continue to fire and do damage, then effectively every 3 rounds will reset that timer back to 10 seconds, unless a reload breaks it up, in which case the 3 round counter will reset, but not the timer or buff itself, etc. In all tests here, there was no situation possible where the timer will fully deplete without landing 3 successive rounds. So it's a permanent damage buff after initially being procced. I hope that made sense. And as for Veist Stinger and Reed's Regret, I haven't taken this into consideration for any testing, and let me explain why. Firstly, when this perk procs is completely random. It might not proc at all when emptying reserves, or it might proc 3 times. Secondly, not only does it reload your weapon from reserves, but it also decreases charge time slightly without decreasing damage. After some very quick testing on an accelerated coil's Reed's Regret, charge time on average decreased from 1.07 seconds to 0.98. That's a reduction of 87 milliseconds or so, or around 8.4%. However, due to the randomness of this, I didn't see the point of including it. Regardless of where and how I decided to implement Veist Stinger proccing and how frequently, the chances of that being the exact same for someone else in game is extremely slim, rendering the average DPS value almost useless. This is something that would require its own video, looking at many different possibilities. So, if you have a Reed's Regret with any of the perk combinations tested here, consider that as a base number, with the potential to be higher if Veist Stinger procs at the right moment for you. Now onto the side-by-side comparison. Remember, that's the top 2 for Cataclysmic and the top 2 for Reed's Regret, which some may have already predicted. All 4 are relatively close for DPS at least, so I'm not going to talk over this part. So, as is obvious here, they're all really close for DPS. However, there's a large difference in total damage, with Cataclysmic and Enhanced really benefiting from 4 times the charm and that increase in magazine size. Reed's with Enhanced is low for damage because I've only tested full magazines. With Enhanced Battery, that's only 3 mags for both linears. Triple tap on Reed's allows 8 rounds to be fired, up from 6, while 4 times the charm on Cataclysmic allows 10 to be fired, also up from 6, which is 30 rounds in total for just 3 magazines. Accelerated coils examples have 4 full mags of 5, allowing them to still do well for damage as they can draw on more in reserves. Still, Cataclysmic with Enhanced is a clear winner for total damage, and as you'll see now as the full summary table comes onto screen, it's the second best of all combinations tested for total damage. What I found funny was Sleeper Simulant is still top for average DPS. It must be that 4 in the mag. But look at the damage, it's not very high in comparison to everything here. It's actually the lowest by far. Not particularly useful for long damage phases against bosses unless you can replenish ammo during said damage phase. I feel this is most suitable for any content leading up to a boss, dealing with mages and champions, etc. But let's not forget it's not just about the numbers. Once you have Sleeper with the Catalyst, that's it. No chasing or crafting for your perfect role. You can do this damage in DPS solo with no need for any fire team members to be stood nearby. Its damage doesn't rely on a perk where you must do half a mag of damage first before it procs, and to keep it procced it's almost constant firing, such as with Focus Fury. And arguably the most important point, forgiveness. Missing a crit or even a shot entirely won't tank DPS as much as the others, which rely on consistent precision hits for triple tap and 4 times the charm. I'll say it again, it's not all about the numbers. Choose your weapon according to the situation, your skill level and just what you have fun using. I personally don't enjoy using Reed's Regret with triple tap and firing line. All these tests and numbers are just a guide to help you make a decision that's best for you, and they're not telling you what you should be using. So we're moving on to the graph now, and we'll be looking at the top 8 legendary examples plus Sleeper. I don't feel like there's too much for me to talk about now or analyse, most of that has been done during the table and the graph is self-explanatory. So I hope as the different combinations appear it answers any questions you still might have, but that is all from me. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it helpful. Let me know in the comments if there's anything you'd like to see tested. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.